there, welcome. Welcome to Homekeepers. How are you today, my friend? Come right on in. We're glad to be here. Glad you are there. Hope everything's going really good in your life. And this is going to be an interesting program. You want to stay with us and maybe find out some things you've really never known before. My guest, Laurie Curtis, is the regional director for, it's got a long name, okay? National Forensics and Communications Association. Sounds big and impressive, and it is. This is an association that organizes young people for debates and for speech tournaments and so forth. And it brought back all these memories to me because when I was in high school, I was on the A debate team. And I can't remember what the subject was that we debated. I can't remember the exact title, but it has something to do with conscription, which really is drafting, you know, drafting men and women into the armed services or whatever. And so I think the whole state was given that one subject, and we went around and debated it. I think even in one of the state houses. I think it was in the State House of Wyoming. Anyway, it opens up so much for young people, and I really am delighted to have Laurie here and tell you all about it. I believe with all my heart, and I think I have a good reason to because of all my time in the ministry and directing choirs, and I've directed children's choirs and youth choirs, that when you get a child in front of an audience, are they holding a microphone, they might be singing a song, or they might be giving a speech, it changes them. It changes them for the better. And Laurie and I will discuss that besides a lot of the other interesting things about debating and having tournaments and so forth. You're going to love it. And I'm going to join Stephanie. We're going to make an artichoke Florentine pasta. It really sounds good. It's got a lot of different flavors in it. We'll put it together. And if we like it, we'll tell you that we like it. And if we don't like it, we'll tell you that too. Put that together. Before I join her, though, I want to offer this again. It's a very important little book called How to Study the Bible. And it gives kind of shortcuts and ways. Sometimes you'll get on a passage or something and you have some question marks. This can really help you understand the scripture. And there's very few things that are more important than knowing the scripture and living by it and obeying it. And so this book, How to Study the Bible, is yours for any amount that you can send. We really appreciate it. We appreciate every gift, large and small, but also try to offer things that will really enhance your life and your experience with the Lord. So if you use your credit card, 1-800-229-0059 is the number for that, and the address is on your screen. As I often say, I send the check to Post Office Box 6922, Clearwater, Florida, 33758. And Stephanie, she's the hip person that buys online and uses 800 numbers and all. So
yes,
these are the generations. She could be my daughter. That's why my kids shop too.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's just easier.
Yeah, I'm still trying to learn cell phone. But
right. Okay, so I have butter in here. I'm going to put garlic that somebody
smell the garlic
nicely chopped up smaller than I had it because I don't have the patience to chop garlic. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to saute that for a second. I'm going to put a whole bunch of chopped spinach in there.
I was thinking about this, of how the American family uses so much pasta. Of course, it's so good.
It's so good. Well, I have butter in here, and I'm going to put flour in and make a roux. Now, the directions will tell you to use the same pan and do all this, but because we have to be a little bit faster, I'm using two different pans. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, well, you know, pasta is inexpensive, and look what all you can do with it.
Yes,
you can do
so many things.
Yeah.
I hate to date a show, but we're at the end of the year now, you know, and we've only got 2 shows after this one to tape. And I just want to wear my pajamas and slippers, and I don't want to do this anymore. Is that awful?
When she has a vacation, she lives in her pajamas and slippers, and I think that's a pretty good idea.
I have to come in here next Wednesday for 1 hour, and I'm going to wear my pajamas. I'm going to. My Christmas.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I'm
well, let me know when you're coming.
You won't be here, please. I'll be here. I'll be in and out before anybody shows up. So I'm gonna.
No, I probably won't be that following Wednesday, but this girl knows how to relax. She really does.
Yes, I do. Okay, so I'm going to wilt that down. I have a roux going here. I'm going to put 3 cups of milk, which we used milk in half and half because we can and because we had it.
I think we've discussed before that the great chefs, the only difference between them and us.
There are a myriad of differences.
No, they use a lot of butter and a lot of heavy cream.
Yeah, so I'm going to crank this up and let this get going. Okay. You just stand and look pretty today. You're looking for something to do. I can see that.
And remember, you don't have to use 2 pans.
Right, you don't have to use 2 pans. I'm just doing this so we can move it along. So I'm wilting the spinach. I've cranked the heat up on the milk, which is milk in half and half. I'm going to put some chicken broth in there. I'm going to put cream cheese, Parmesan cheese, salt and pepper, and artichoke hearts. This is going to be so delicious. And I've eaten so much today because it's the holidays that I can't even take a bite.
There's so much food in the kitchen.
We had a luncheon yesterday, and then we keep getting packages delivered, which of course you have to open. But I did I got a cinnamon bundt cake earlier, and I stuck it right in the freezer.
Oh, really?
So come February, after we're done healthy eating January, we'll break it out. Okay, there's that. That's wilted.
It's about the time the New Year's resolution breaks off right at the end of January.
Yep. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to put chicken broth.
And the pasta's already cooked.
The pasta's already cooked. I'm going to do salt and pepper. Thank you, ma'am. I'm going to do Parmesan and cream cheese.
Oh my, I want to meet
It smells so
Who came up with these ingredients?
And chopped up, they were canned artichoke hearts that we coarsely drained and coarsely chopped. I'm going to put those in. I'm speed cooking.
This makes enough for an army.
It does make a lot. So I cranked the heat up. We're just going to let this all melt real quick. Put it all together. We're going to put it on the plate, and then you're going to put a little panko crumb. You want to take care of that for me? Thank you.
I'm good at this.
You are so good at it.
So good I can take a dish.
When we get ready in the morning, I usually do the cooking and she does the cleanup, which is great with me because I don't mind cooking and I hate doing dishes.
Well, you know, we're a pretty good team. And I told her about my Aunt Ethel. Now, every family has an Aunt Ethel. And when we would all get together, Aunt Ethel would kind of stand in the middle of the kitchen with a spoon, wondering what to do next. And there's a lot of that early in the morning.
In the morning, we're like, Aunt Ethel's here, what's happening?
And I've given my Aunt Ethel a new life. She's been in heaven for a long time.
Yeah, oh no, she's with us.
She's with us, and
yes. So we do, that's
hey,
almost...
let us know the name of your Aunt Ethel.
Yes.
That would be so great. Do you have one? Or maybe you don't want to say it on the air if she's still alive.
I do not.
Well, we're probably not.
I'm gonna mix this in. I'm gonna grab you just a little bit of it to put it on the pasta, and we'll just go. But it is not even close to being done. Okay, so
you don't want to put the pasta in there?
No, I'm just gonna go and put it on your plate.
Yeah, because I want to talk to Laurie.
Yes, we got to get to our guests. Oh, if someday we're gonna have smell-o-vision. We are.
I'm sure we will.
And oh my goodness, this right here, you are gonna want some of it.
Oh man, this has to be just out of this world.
Again, this is not done at all. You need
a little panko,
but you can get a little taste of it. Get an artichoke heart. There's an artichoke heart for you.
Oh my!
It smells divine. It just smells so good. It's good, right?
They should put the names of people who come up with these wonderful combinations, but we don't know who did it. But thank you. I think you want this one. So, information's coming up on your screen. Several ways you can get it, and we'll be glad to get it right out to you. And after that, I want you to meet my new friend, Laurie Curtis. Stay with us.
If you would like a copy of today's recipe, you may receive it by contacting us through social media as listed on the screen. When requesting a copy through the mail, be sure to include a self-addressed stamped envelope. Thank you, and please know we always appreciate hearing from our viewers.
I am very pleased to introduce to you Laurie Curtis and thank Deborah Ray for telling me about you. As I said at the top of the show, it brings back so many memories. And I can honestly say from high school till now, I don't know of a high school that does it. I'm sure there are, but I mean, I just
Sure.
haven't run into it. But you are a homeschool mom.
Yes.
We love homeschool moms on this show.
Thank you.
How many children?
I have 5 children. Homeschooled them the entire time.
Right into
all of
college,
their-
right?
Right into college. 3 of them. 1 has graduated, 2 are currently in college, and I still have 2 at home, a junior and a senior.
What was it that motivated you?
Well, when my oldest was about 12, we, of course, with 5 children very close together, we were thinking about what that was going to look like in our high school years, and started asking other moms, homeschool moms in the area, what kind of activities they did. We're fortunate enough to have other moms that had participated in speech and debate prior to us, and went to a couple of things to check it out. Was just really convinced that, you know, there's unless you're going to be a professional hermit, there's really not a place where
That's right.
where you won't have to have some sort of communication skills. And then when you layer on the debate as well, just critical thinking skills that are important. You already have middle schoolers that want to argue with you, so you might as well teach them how to do it well.
Yeah. What was the thing that motivated you to be a homeschool mom?
Probably early on, it was observing other parents that had gone before us, family in our church that was particularly influential, and just really wanting to provide an anchor for their faith and being able to pass that along well. Over time, it's probably changed a little bit in that we still want to do those things, but it's also
A lot of reasons.
it's had such fruit in just having our children be close together and building a family bond that we're excited about as well.
Yes, and not only that, they can pursue other avenues. There's a lot of time wasted in public school. And I
Right.
understand that homeschoolers are done like in 3 hours or so.
Well, it can be,
Can be.
sure. It depends on, you know,
I know one-
what you're pursuing.
Yeah, I know one gal who did it, and so the girl then became a great pianist because she
Sure,
had all
you
kinds
have,
of time to
you
practice.
Have time.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what's nice about being able to pursue speech and debate, because you can take it as far as you want to take it. Really, depending on how much of it you want to include into your academic pursuit.
Okay,
it's been a
now
great
this
tool.
National Forensics and Communications Association, can anybody plug into that, or does it have to be a certain school?
They can. Well, it's open to all homeschoolers, but as you know, the definition of homeschooling differs across the country. So anybody is welcome to participate, and if you feel like, you know, if there was someone that felt like they wanted to participate in this, they can always just ask.
We're going to put the website up on the
Great.
screen and keep it there, because I wonder if there are not a lot of parents, grandparents
Sure.
never really knew this kind of thing was available.
I hope
So,
some people hear about it.
What is the age that they are accepted?
12 to 18.
12, really?
Yes, you can start competing at 12, and that to me was something that was very appealing, because once when you have and the 12-year-olds compete right along with the 17 and 18-year-olds, and probably their first time might be a little tricky, but their skills really just go through the roof, because a bar is set very high. And so it really pays off.
And it helps them so much when they're an adult.
Absolutely.
I've often been very grateful for my parents who, when I look back now, their emphasis was preparing us for adulthood
Yes.
rather than just having all this fun and all these
Right.
little memories of bubbles and so forth.
That's right.
We were given tasks to do and responsibilities
Sure.
and this kind of thing. They really nurtured. My family is full of musicians, and so you give them something that's going to be beneficial.
Yes.
And this especially because, as you said, and so true, unless they're going to be a hermit, they're going to have to communicate.
That's right. That's right. My very first experience with just going to a tournament in general, I served as a judge. We look for judges all over the country too. We rely on community judges to help our tournaments just progress. And so I went to serve as a judge just to check it out before my children became involved.
Was this your first experience?
Very first experience was as a judge. And I was nervous, quite frankly. I hadn't had the benefit of having high school debate like you had, so it was new for me. And I sat in on a debate, and right away I saw the difference. There was probably a 6'3" boy and a 5-foot boy, 5-foot high boy. But so probably a 17 against a 12-year-old, 17-year-old against a 12-year-old. And the judge was in the room, and me. That was all there was in a classroom. And as soon as the debate ended, it was very clear who had won. And as soon as the debate ended, the judge got up and left, and I waited outside the room.
Was it the
just to see? Of course, yes. The older student, of course, prevailed, and that was easy for me to see, even not knowing what I was doing. But I waited outside the room. And it was very dear because in a competition, I guess I expected there to be more, possibly the young man going, ha, I just won and I'm all done now and I can go move on. And he didn't do that. He stayed, and as a senior boy, he sat down with this young gentleman and walked through all of the arguments with him and coached him on how he could have responded better. And I was just really floored by that. Was really taken back by that and thought, that's the kind of thing I want to develop in my children. And
yes, besides very Christian principles,
yes,
they're learning so much more. Okay, now I often say I can hear my viewers.
Oh, good, yes.
They have a child and they're interested. How can they plug into this? It's a great website, I'll tell you that.
Yes, go to the website and click on join, and all the information is there about how you can join in. There are tournaments happening all across the country. We start in January. In fact, our very first tournament will be January 9th. And for my region, our region, which is Georgia, Florida, and South Carolina, that happens to compete together, will be in Savannah. But we have a tournament happening in Plant City in February. But they're happening all across the country. If you're available to judge, there's a place there that you can click on to judge, and it'll show you where tournaments are happening near you. So there's all sorts of information there about how to get involved.
Okay, how do they choose a subject for the debate?
The subjects for the debate are set for the year. So there's 3 different styles of debate. Lincoln Douglas this year happens to be free trade versus fair trade. There's team policy. That's a 2-person team against a 2-person team debate, and their subject is international terrorism, what the U.S. policy should change towards that.
Do they have the material to study, or do they have to go find it?
Yes, to both. There's a certain amount that's provided once you join NCFCA as an affiliated family. There are lots of webinars and information that's provided for you there, as well as people have clubs that you can find a club near you. Yes, you can find a club near you, and they help coach you through. And there's curriculum as well that's provided that's available to anyone. You can use the NCFCA speech curriculum as well as the debate curriculum that's available.
Now, are there people that coach them on their demeanor and their voice range?
Sure, there are local clubs. Typically is how you don't have to be a member of a club to be able to participate, but local clubs are all over the country. And again, just go to that website and there's a find a club near me. You can plug in your zip code and find out what clubs are available near you.
Yeah, as I mentioned, the website is pretty thorough. Do they? How do you kind of climb the ladder on this?
Well, quite frankly, you just keep coming to tournaments. When we first started, I just barely dipped my toe in. I was a mom that had 4 and 5 little ones behind me, and I would drag them all to the tournament, and maybe we would just But we were all homeschool moms together, you know, so we all help look after one another's children, but also help take turns judging. It's a very grassroots organization.
Yeah, there's no downside to this. If well, say a Christian, they're sensing maybe a call to the ministry.
Yes.
To be a pastor or Sunday school teacher or something. Boy, this is, when you're standing up in front of people, there's a few things that you can know, basic things that's going to get your message across better, and that things that you can do will detract from the message.
Well, and that's part of what our judges provide. When you come and you judge, you give them feedback. And that's part of the reason we rely on the community to come in and help judge, because it gives a varied, broad audience. You get feedback from a lot of different people. And you see what works and what doesn't work, or at least how things are being perceived. It's excellent to get the feedback. And then you go home and work on your speeches, and then hopefully come back to another qualifying tournament and try it again.
Now, is it only debate tournaments, or is it just giving a speech and you're graded?
Right, well, both. So there are, like I mentioned, there are 3 different styles of debate. I only mentioned Lincoln Douglas and team policy. There is a moot court competition that's a Supreme Court simulation. But then we offer 10 different categories of speech. Some of them are called...
Where you're not debating and you don't have to be thinking about...
Correct. So some of those are limited preps, where you just go in and draw topics. So it could be, you know, just a word or a phrase. It could be a current event. We also have a whole category on apologetics topics, where you learn to communicate your apologetics issues well.
I noticed that. How exactly does that work? Because I feel that our young people in our churches and Christianity in general doesn't get a real high grade on apologetics and telling why they believe what they believe. I think this could be one of the most important parts of what you're doing.
Well, apologetics, we also have biblical thematics, where you study and memorize a large portion of Scripture and then give your analysis of it, and you give your interpretation of it. But it can be any sort of topic, from honestly duct tape all the way to abortion. I mean, we've had all of those issues covered, and you know, the goal is to communicate in a winsome way, in a way, you know, things that are biblical truths, and in a way that glorifies God. It does.
It forces them to think.
It does.
Just out of the box.
And it's more than, I mean, sort of like homeschooling. When I started out, I went because I wanted to develop a skill, and I do, and that's still something that I want to do. But also, I've had the privilege of wrestling through, what does it mean to compete well? What does it mean to communicate winsomely? How do we speak the truth in love? How do we disagree well? All those kinds of issues come up, and I'm able to walk that through with my own teenagers, but also with families that think like I do.
How do you hold their attention? How do you hold the attention of an audience? Because you can't put them to sleep.
Sure.
I fell asleep once here during a telethon. The speaker put me to sleep, and they had to remove me from the set. So I know what I'm talking about when I say somebody can put you to sleep on this. Now, you're really into the Lincoln Douglas debates on this go-around.
Sure.
For what reason? I mean, how are you using those as debating today?
Well, one of the things that's important about the debates is that we pick topics that we think that are first of all current, and that also help add to our academic rigor for different homes. And so, but the other thing is that you have to be able to debate both sides, and we feel that develops critical thinking skills, but it also helps you just to examine well the different aspects of all the different arguments. That's what forensics is. Sometimes we think about forensics as being you know, because of all the TV shows, we think about it being some kind of scientific thing, but it's actually picking apart arguments and taking them apart and looking for places where we can agree well, and then communicating effectively where we disagree.
On the debates, do the participants have to debate both sides?
They do.
So when they're going in there, they don't know which side they're going to be?
They don't always know, right. They know that they're going to alternate sides. It's not always a true alternation. You don't always know that you're going back and forth, but particularly by the time you get to the final round, we're flipping a coin on the stage to find out who's going to argue which side. So you have to be prepared with both.
Yeah, there's no
negative.
downside to this. It pushes. I'm going to go back to the Lincoln-Douglas debates because it's considered very significant in American history.
True.
I think after the first one, because there were 7, weren't there? 7 debates.
You probably know better than I do about that.
But I think Lincoln lost, and then
against Douglas.
Then he won. Maybe he honed up his skills a little bit.
Maybe he practiced.
Yeah.
See, he came to a tournament maybe.
Yes, could be. But it's so significant in American history.
True.
So I think it's
it's about values. I mean, that's part of what Lincoln Douglas value is about. So the students are going to have to choose a value, whether it's quality of life or various other values that we would have, and there's a clash of those values, and they have to be able to say when these things are in competition, when there is a clash of values, we should value this one over this one, and here's why. And they have to be able to defend that, and remember that they are in probably another hour or so going to flip and argue the other side of that, and it really helps you as a teenager examine those things that are deep and meaningful to help you wrestle with those ideas.
Oh, you know, if you tried to list all the benefits from this, it would be pretty hard because it'll benefit you your entire life.
Yes.
Anytime you learn to communicate better, that's really what we do. As human beings, that's the main thing we do. We are out of time, but boy, thank you.
Thank you.
Never had a subject like this.
Well, thank you for having me.
And so I hope you got that website, and you might want to put your child in something like this. It could benefit them a lot, or give them music lessons or something.
Come judge.
Get them out there. Yeah.
Come judge for us too.
But thank you for being with us, and please remember, there's no higher calling than that of a homekeeper. God bless you.
If you should miss a Homekeepers program, you can catch up by going to www.ctnonline.com. Click on CTN Programs and then on Homekeepers.